I'm sure most people have no idea that we actually run NTX Vinyl, our record shop, out of our home. It truly is a family-owned business from front to back. And while I've given people a glimpse behind the scenes in regards to my listening room, which is where I'm at now, I'm pretty excited to give you a look behind the scenes in regards to our stock room, which is where we process orders, package orders, have all our excess inventory. It's going to be really cool. I hope you'll check it out on this episode of Talking About Records. My name is G.I. Sanders from NTX Vinyl, a small chain of independent record shops in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you're not local but you're in the US, you can shop online at ntxvinyl.com. Would love it if you'd subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. All right, as you can see, we've got a different background today. That is because, as promised, we are in what I call our stock room, which is another room in our home. I do have storage units where all of our used pre-owned inventory is, but all of the new vinyl that we sell, everything that comes in and we put out on a regular basis into our shops, that's new sealed records, it all comes in through this room first. And so I'm going to take you on a little tour. This is where we package stuff. This is where we process orders. This is where we store all our inventory, again, the new stuff in regards to all shipping supplies and everything like that. So I'm going to take you around the room. Hopefully you'll find this interesting and you'll see how a record shop is run from a home. All right, first and foremost, let's talk about shipping records because that's probably the thing we do most in this room. We have got a, as you can see, a cleared off Kallax, IKEA Kallax shelf that works as our shipping. We've got boxes right here. I'll show you the majority of them that are in the closet as well, but we keep them handy here because this is where we ship our records. So if a record gets shipped, as you can see right over here, this is the need to be shipped pile. So I would pull one of these records out, put it on the top, put a couple filler pads in, which I'll show you. This typically fills up on any given week, and then we'll process orders a couple times a week as well. We've got pending orders over here as well. That's stuff that we're waiting on payment from. And then we've got listed on Discogs down here. So if you go to our Discogs profile at any time, we've got usually 1 or 2 cubes full of stuff that are rarities, oddities, things that don't really belong in the shops, or things that just are a little high dollar that I would rather sell online, right? So you've got a couple different categories of records where we keep things organized as inventory's coming in and out. Then we've got our supplies. So obviously you've got clear outer sleeves, you've got paper inner sleeves, things that we use on any records that are pre-owned. Down here is a little bit of a hodgepodge. This is a section of online sales that is about to go out, so I've got those separated to make sure they don't get sold before they actually get posted. So a lot of organization to make sure and keep all these records straight in regards to where they're being sold, how they're being sold, to make sure that we don't goof up and sell something that we don't actually have in stock as far as quantity is concerned. And then you've got your cardboard filler pads. So these, believe it or not, are not cheap. We buy them by the thousand, and they're heavy, but they are essential. If you're not putting these in your records when you're shipping them, you're doing everybody a disservice, because these are really what keep the post office from bending your records in a lot of ways. So that's kind of the shipping station, if you will. So next I'll talk through some of the actual new inventory. Well, before we get to new inventory, so you've got fancy stuff like, pricing gun, that's really exciting. Packing tape, really exciting things like packing tape and box cutters and stickers. So I got, flyers. I use these to insert with all of our online orders, advertising, online shop. And I've got a bunch of different stickers at any given time that I design myself because it's simply fun. Now, as far as inventory concerned, this is, so I've got one shelf here and one on the other side. I'll show you. This is all A to Z inventory of new vinyl, like I mentioned. Everything's sealed in here. All of our pre-owned vinyl is in our storage units, which are close by our house. There's literally thousands of records that are pre-owned that I have in stock. But again, I don't run all that through here because A, there's too much of it. B, pre-owned vinyl has an odor, believe it or not, good or bad. And I don't necessarily want that to consume the house because it probably would stick around forever. But as far as new records are concerned, man, I've got at any given time a ton of stuff in stock. This is all stuff that fuels any of the online sales we do in regards to the Vinyl for Sale show, which we've started doing, any of the pop-up sales that we do, and of course, if you're local, it floods into our local physical locations, which we've got 3 of those now. But this is, again, just all back stock and inventory. Most of this that you see up here is already in stock at our physical locations. This is, again, overflow inventory. Every couple weeks, I'll go through each of the physical shops and take stock of what's there, and then I'll come back here and pull things out if they need to be, restocked at the physical location. So lots of new inventory here. We'll keep going around the room and show you some more new inventory. But so here's the obviously the processing station. I've got clipboards for just about everything. So when a new order comes in, so this is a new order from Third Man Records, new order from Alliance Entertainment. They come on these clipboards, and that's important because when the orders do come in, the boxes will land right here. If you've ever seen it in my unboxing videos, which I haven't done recently, but the boxes land here, and it's very important that you have the packing slips to go along with it to make sure that whatever arrives is actually what you've ordered, and you can check it off and make sure everything is inventoried properly. Shipping scale, very important. MacBook, very important. These are all of our pickups and pre-orders, so anytime a local customer orders something for pickup, or for pre-order, whether it's coming out in weeks or months, we print the packing slips out, so we have those to attach to the records when they come in. We have this amazing little label printer. If you are doing any shipping out of your house, this is pretty essential. You got to have a label printer. I also have this awesome cup here, which is me and my dad. You can see there's me, and there's my dad back on our soccer team, this is probably like 1984. Anyways, that was not part of the plan. Moving right along, we have some damages and returns. Anything that comes back to us that is damaged in transit goes in this bin. Luckily, it's a small bin and doesn't fill up that often. You got a friends and family bin. That's stuff for people who I work with. Like this example is a test pressing of something for our record label. So that's stuff that is there just pending until I meet up with friends and family to pass things off. As you can see, more new inventory over here. I've got all kinds of stuff, that I love and that I stock. Most of everything I do with NTX Vinyl as far as inventory is concerned is stuff I know. There's I would say probably about a 10% chance that if it's an album I have in stock and I'm selling it, that I don't know it, right? 90% of the stuff I sell is stuff that I not only know, but I actually love and listen to. It's probably the one thing that drives everything with this business, is because I really do feel like I'm selling to myself, which is important because you got to know your buyer, right? And so I'm selling to people just like me who love music just like me, and that's kind of what I over-index on. Like I don't sell a lot of stuff in genres that I just don't know about. So if you go through these shelves, you're going to find alternative rock, classic rock, metal, punk, all the stuff that, again, I like. And if you watch any of my videos, that's pretty much what what I've grown up on and what I still like to this day. And so all the inventory here is represented in that. I do have some box sets up here. I try not to stock too many box sets just because they're very bulky and they're very expensive, but sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet because it's worth it. So all right, moving right along this shelf. This is a bunch of actually pre-owned inventory, and the reason why pre-owned inventory exists in this room in this state is because it's already priced. So this is stuff that's all ready to be restocked in my local shop in regards to pre-owned. So this is a bunch of R&B in this crate, all kinds of vintage stuff. You got Bob Marley in here, Van Morrison, you got Buffalo Springfield, Cheap Trick, etc., etc. And you can just go through these crates. There's all kinds of records in here. So you got the Stones, a bunch of the Stones, Greg Allman. You get the idea. All pre-owned inventory, good stuff. Genesis, like I mentioned, stuff that I stock in my shops. Classic rock, all kinds of good stuff. There's a cool R&B Four Tops anthology. So you get the idea. So pre-owned inventory, but this is pretty short-lived. So this will typically come in once I get it priced, whether by myself or whether people who help me out from a pricing standpoint. It'll exist in here only until it moves into the shops once a week. So I restock all of my shops on a weekly basis, which is key. The other thing over here is my record cleaner, which I honestly don't use as much as I'd like, just because it takes time and it takes up space and it makes a very loud noise. But it is a great machine. I would recommend the ultrasonic cleaner. It's worth it. They only cost $150, $200 for this particular model, and it does a great job cleaning records. I just don't get a chance to use it as much as I'd like. But all right, so over here in this shelf, we've got actually a couple variety of things going on. All this inventory here, this is my record label inventory, which is the DFW Legacy series. Myself and a couple of friends partnered with a bunch of artists from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I'm just kind of pulling some random ones out. And these are all limited edition. A lot of them are numbered, and this is all, again, local artists from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, including my band that I was in, South FM. So I've got inventory from my record label here. I've got some additional box sets down here. You can see Melancholy and Infant Sadness. By the time this video airs, those will all be sold, I promise, because that's the last ones I have. I've got some kind of leftover inventory that needs to be sorted here. I've got some box sets that need to be returned. Unfortunately, those Tom Petty box sets did not have all of the discs that were included, so those got to be dealt with. I have some overflow hip-hop stuff that needs to be dealt with here. This will probably be priced and put in the shops very soon. And as you can see, I've got plenty of the Tool Fear Inoculum box sets in stock, which is amazing because nobody knew if that thing was going to sell out, and luckily it was pressed in appropriate numbers, so that is still available. So let's see. Let's move over into the closet, which is super exciting. My wife, who handles a lot of the shipping and the processing of orders and all those things, if you ever bought anything from us, you may have heard from her. She was the one who decorated, which is why the pink chair and why we have the decoration in the closet. She insisted that it still appear like an actual home, right? As opposed to just like a warehouse. But this is all the shipping supplies. So you've got tons of boxes. We have boxes for single LPs, boxes for usually like 2 to 3 LPs, and then you got big boxes for box sets and anything larger orders. Plenty of tape, plenty of extra NTX Vinyl flyers, plenty of supplies, extra tape, oddball envelopes. You've got stuff like you know, bubble wrap, tons of filler pads, and then crates and additional packing supplies. These crates are just priceless. We live off of these. All of our records get transported in them. Those are the lifeline of what we do. You can get those at Target or even Walmart sells them. So, and if you need to wrap a gift, this is the gift wrapping station. That's not part of the NTX Vinyl experience. All right, this box down here, this is kind of a hidden little, I call that the vault. That's an interesting box. There's actually not anything in it right now because I just cleared it out. But that is for stuff that comes in, and maybe I want to keep a copy. Maybe I want to hold on to a few copies because I've got extra and I put them in there and it goes to storage. So I've got a bunch of boxes in storage that I call the vault boxes, and it's stuff that just sits around because it's extras, and then every now and then I'll do a pop-up sale and I'll pull out the vault and I'll sell that stuff. So it's kind of fun because it's stuff that may be rare, maybe out of print because I put it away and it's been 6 months or a year or longer than that, those types of things. So the vault's kind of fun. Last but not least, we've got this big shelf where we started. Some more used inventory up here. This is an eBay sale that's going on right now, a bunch of rarities. Let's see what I pull out first. There you go, a bunch of rarities. So this is all stuff that'll be sold here before this video airs. This is for the next Vinyl for Sale episode. So I've got already a crate picked out. I'll be filming that soon. That'll be already aired and done by the time you see this. But all right, so then this shelf, which is very important. If you come over here a little closely, Ben, I've got some identifiers here, and that's because each of these cubes, from top to bottom, or each of these columns, I should say, are for each of my local shops. So I've got 3 local shops. So you've got Highland Village, you've got Frisco, and you got North Richland Hills. Up here are all the local pickups. So everything that's, there you go, North Richland Hills pickups. So these are all the ones that people have ordered and pre-ordered and will go in behind the counters at my shops for people to pick up. And then you've got inventory that will funnel into each of the shops. So that's why those plastic bins are so important that I just mentioned, because all this needs to pull out and go into the plastic bin. So all this is already priced, and on a weekly basis, this essentially clears out completely, and then it refills up by the next week. That's where all the work is involved, because you got to get all the boxes in here. And this room is upstairs. So everything comes into our home, comes upstairs, gets unboxed, gets inventoried, gets checked that we got what we ordered, condition is checked, then it's got to be priced, and then it's got to be allocated to each of the shops or allocated to backstock, which is very important. The last column here is what is dedicated to, like I mentioned, that vinyl for sale. So the online sales that I do, they funnel into here, and then as we ship the orders, we pull them out, and whatever is left then gets funneled into the broader alphabetization on the shelves we already talked about. So that's kind of this is kind of the brain of the operation, if you want to put it that way, in regards to the local shops, because everything funnels through. And believe me, this started out small. This room started out with only those first 2 shelves I showed you, and we've added all of this over time because inventory keeps growing and because people keep buying so many records, which is an amazing thing. So so I love being able to come in here on a weekly basis and see what's going into the shops, and then being able to roll it back out and then fill it right back up. That's a big part of the fun of doing this, is just getting to kind of run through so many records, whether it's new releases, reissues, whatever it may be. Just super excited. If you love dealing with records, it's a great business to be in. And I'm trying not to burn myself out on, honestly, which I've been doing this 3 years though, still feeling pretty good about it, even though it is a bit overwhelming at times. But I think the biggest thing that the takeaway from this room is, once you get the process set up, once you get the infrastructure set up as far as the organization, it actually gets pretty easy and it funnels in and out pretty quickly. But the reality is, without all that, it can be a real nightmare. So I would encourage anybody who's trying to sell records, even on a small scale, to just set your kind of processes up, whether it be your systems online or your physical systems, as far as shipping and processing and inventorying, all that stuff. It's very important to get all that kind of buttoned up and as clean and as simplified as possible, because it's only going to help you in the end. So there you go. That's a tour of our little stock room, a behind the scenes tour of how we process all our orders and how we get things organized and inventoried and out to our local shop. So hope that was interesting. I will pop up some more content as always, and really appreciate you watching another episode of Talking About Records.